Welcome to Great Things Tampa Bay, the podcast about great eats, great places, and great people in the greater Tampa Bay area. I'm your host, Kyle Sasser, Tampa Bay native and realtor. This is episode 12, and I'd like to thank you for giving us your time. I know there's lots of things vying for your attention, and I appreciate you choosing to spend your time listening to me in this podcast. I promise I'll do my best to bring you something great. I did want to give a little bit of an update to our podcast format. We're actually changing it a little bit. This one's a little shorter than usual, so we're shortening up the format. We're going to try to keep it between 15 and 22, 23, 24 minutes. We're also only going to do one main segment per, and the trade-off on that is we're going to move to a weekly release. Also, in addition to the main Great Things Tampa Bay podcast, which you're listening to right now, we're setting up 3 separate feeds, just in case you don't really have any interest in some of the things we talk about. So we're calling these express feeds, and if you look on iTunes or Google Play, wherever you get your podcast feed, you can do a search for Great Bites Tampa Bay, and that's going to be for, our food reviews and restaurants. Great Places Tampa Bay is going to be about events and parks and all sorts of things to do in the area. And then Great People is going to be our interview feed. So if you listen to the main feed, which you're listening to right now, then you're going to get all 3 of these. But this is just for people who just don't have any interest in, maybe they hate great food for some reason. And, they can elect just to listen to the Great Places and the Great People interviews that we do. Go to our website. Those will be listed under Express Feeds, and we'll have a little bit more information for that at the end. This is episode 12. We're calling this World Thrift, AOK Family and Pop-Up Shop Kitchen. And that's segment 1, World Thrift. So I was able to interview some local entrepreneurs by the name of Nick, Berto, and Alessandro. And basically they run a thrift store, and also they do a pop-up shop, which, if you're a little bit older, you might not know, but it's kind of all the rage right now. But basically it's just a little booth that pops up. It's kind of temporary. A lot of times it's part of a larger group of them or festival, but it can also just be an event that's hosted on its own. And basically, they set up a little booth. They have some clothes. In particular, they also have food from a great chef in the area here. So kind of adds a lot of interest and value to the area. And had a lot of fun interviewing them. Hope you enjoy listening. So I'm here today with the AOK family, and I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves.
Hey, how you guys going? It's Berto.
I'm Nick. And Alessandro.
There's some entrepreneurs here at St. Petersburg and nationwide doing some great things.
So as the AOK family, we're basically just a collective group of individuals. We don't like to go by incorporated or anything like that, because we feel that anyone that's in this with us is family. So that's why we came up with the name AOK family. And what we do is just each of us have different visions, and we all come together to help each other out and bring them all into fruition, basically. So I personally have a brand, it's called World Thrift, that we're all in on, and that's a buy, sell, trade business where we buy, sell, trade clothes, vintage, anything that has a resale value, clothing wise, we want it.
So basically I'm a chef, and what we do, catering and private chef company, we do Creations by Berto, and I also work with a lot of events. We basically bring my own twist on diner classics and street food.
That sounds delicious. What's your best dish, do you feel?
We could do best sell would probably have been our first plate. I made a homemade peanut butter and a strawberry jam, deep fried it like a French toast, and topped it with a banana Foster's.
It's like a good midnight snack type dish. It was real good.
All right, cool. So Alessandro, you got the clothes, right? Mm-hmm. And Berto, you got the food.
Yeah.
Right. So Nick, what's your key role in all this?
What do you call it, Alessandro?
The flow, FLO, so financial, legal, and operations. But on top of that, Nick is in it. Nick's in it with the food. Nick's in it with the clothes. Nick came over yesterday and he had a bag full of thrifted stuff that he went and got himself. So he does everything.
So on the food front, we have American street food.
I'm classically trained, so French and Italian cuisine, and I work at the Birch and Vine now, so I do a lot of fine dining food and good plating and stuff there. So I do that twist on say you're walking around New York or in LA, any of the street food you have out there, all the little bodegas and stuff. I put my own little twist on it, my flavor, and I try to bring a little bit higher end touch for a lower price.
Yeah. Well, I will say, speaking of Birch and Vine, my wife and I went there a few months ago and had the carpaccio with the gorgonzola ice cream.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously good.
Nice.
I like that place. It's delicious. So how did y'all meet? How'd y'all get started?
So Nick and I met at the bus stop when we were in middle school. I was in 6th grade and he was in 7th. And me and Berto met at, I still work there actually part-time at the Brown Boxer on Madeira Beach. I've been working there since I was 18, but Berto was just working there one day. I just said hey to him basically. We had never met. I had heard his name, he had heard mine. We had mutual friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know, the connection with like our friendship just really kicked it off. We actually only met maybe like 4 years ago, so it's pretty crazy that we are as close as we are.
Very cool. Yeah.
So we're all real close, but this whole venture didn't really start until March. Actually getting things down, brass tacks, working out the numbers, and figuring things out. That's when it all started, March of 2017.
Awesome. I was kind of a onlooker, I guess you could say, because Alessandro, I had kind of known you around that time. We'd met a couple times. And yeah, I just saw y'all kind of take off from, just a few little blips on social media, and then basically a flood of stuff. Y'all went all over the nation, right?
Right.
Doing shows and stuff.
We're out in New Orleans. We just got back from LA not too long ago.
Yeah, we were in Los Angeles in June. We went to New Orleans, I think, in May.
Yeah.
And those were like back-to-back events. And New Orleans, we did a couple like small pop-ups just in the area. But in LA, we did a couple different ones. We were out at Venice Beach. We did one in downtown LA at like a rooftop pool area, and then we did one at a clothing store, which I've got their shirt on. It's Good Mood.
Yeah.
And so that was actually, we held like a pop-up shop and kitchen there, and it was actually the first time I was ever able to do a fashion show, which I really liked. And we just did another one this weekend at Furnish Me Vintage, so that was the second one I've ever done.
Yeah. So who does the social media?
We all help. We all help.
Because I gotta say, y'all do a really good job, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting. I mean, I know I'm not exactly your target demographic, being an older.
Actually, believe it or not, you are. You guys have more money to spend though.
Yeah.
Because we have friends that like they'll support us till the death of them, but they might only have $43 in their pocket, and we always want all of our events to be for everyone. I have a lot of girls that are like, oh, I can't come because I have my son that day, or a guy, oh, I have my daughter. Bring them along. We always try to make it all inclusive and fun for everyone.
And just for the record, ages are.
I'm 27.
25.
24.
All right, and your lovely host here is 38 years old. So. All right, so we have the American food, right, with the artisanal touch, I guess we could say, right?
Keep American, but like I said, since I'm Italian and French like trained, I bring a lot of the elegance the Italian food brings, but with like a grilled cheese or like a cheesecake or something,
Like, how would you describe the clothing?
I just watched a couple other brands and different people selling stuff online, and everyone has their market. So if you go online, I have some friends, they specifically only sell jerseys because that's just what they specialize in. Some people only do vintage, some people just do band tees. With our concept of World Thrift, I want to try to have everything. I want to be able to appeal to everyone. And then also another thing that goes into it is I've always really loved to travel. A lot of people, they're like St. Pete Vintage or San Francisco Vintage, and they're only thrifting out of that one area. Whereas anytime we're traveling, anytime I go out of town, I'm grabbing stuff so that when you buy something, I can maybe let you know where it came from, or
give it a little background.
Give it, a little bit more of a story than just, oh, we just found these in the local thrift stores in St. Pete. Sometimes, like the pants I'm wearing right now, like I got these from Malaysia,
Yeah.
So
and a lot of times the story is actually what's going to sell something.
Yeah.
Right.
What makes it.
So yeah, I guess in short, I try to bring in just the best of everything, really.
Yeah. And I'm looking around here. We're kind of in a storage room currently, and I'm seeing some collared shirts, some Umbro jackets. Very 90s feel, would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
I was gonna say this does kind of remind me of my middle school.
There you go.
I don't see a starter jacket around.
We have members only.
Members only. I like it. I like it.
A lot of it's nostalgia, honestly.
Yeah.
People see something that reminded them of when they were young.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have that item or couldn't get it. Now they can, so that's a big thing.
A lot of our customers are sports fans. Just getting a piece that really takes them back. Like we have this Dolphins shirt jersey, 95 last year. Don Shula was head coach. If you're a true Dolphins fan, you're gonna love it, and that's what we try to bring to a lot of our pieces. You know, and say I have to have it.
So my brother, bless his heart, is a very long-suffering Buccaneers fan.
Oh.
And I know that he has a lot of love in his heart for the old Buccaneer Bruce, from the 80s. They were breaking all the wrong records, I guess you could say. So y'all are traveling around the country, doing shows, doing all sorts of great things. What was the best failure that y'all have experienced so far?
We kind of split on that one. We had a easy like Sunday morning brunch event at the Green Bench Brewery, and it was on the outside looking in, it went great. But for like our opinions, like the power wasn't working, the band weren't playing quite the right music we wanted. Everything was like, I had a meltdown.
Yeah, we all had headaches by the end of the day, and we were ready.
And it was a long night. It was our first like early morning event. Like all of our events usually. So we kind of, that's when we get our sleep. You know, I'm up prepping till 5 or 6 in the morning. So I crash out at like 7 or 8 and get a 4-hour nap in. This one, like, the event started at 11, so like I got done at like 7 or 8, and it was just like, all right, shower and let's pack these cars
get it going. Yeah.
So that was down at a Green Bench?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, we love Green Bench. They worked great with us, let us host this amazing event. It wasn't anything to do on them. It was just like small things, just kept little domino effect, that butterfly's wing and whatnot.
That's a good example of a really good event that just had like a couple things go wrong. But we've also done events where it was just such short planning. We literally tried to throw an event together in like 2 days, and 2 days later when we get up and get over there and set up, I think like 3 people came the entire night. So definitely a couple different ways you can like define like best failures or worst failures. But those are some of them
in that place, man. There was no air. I'm a big boy.
Those are the ones that you will tell people when y'all are rich and famous.
Our first event was March 8th, and we've done close to 25 events since then.
Yeah.
So one thing we've learned is now we're focusing on bigger events.
As opposed to like when we first started, it was like, get us in anywhere.
Get as many markets, let's do 5 markets this week. Whereas it's a lot easier to just plan out bigger things as opposed to having to move all the stuff downtown 5 different times in 1 week.
It's kind of like the same concept they did with like the McGregor-Mayweather fight. They've been talking about it since 2015. Just space it out, like let people like plan their day out. Like if this is an event, like I have to go out to see this, and like give me enough time to plan for it.
Yeah,
that's true. Y'all have been doing some shows. Any other successes that y'all are having?
Yeah, so recently, you can call them retailers. I prefer to call them installations, but we've set up a couple different partnerships with some local businesses, one of them being Furnish Me Vintage. We absolutely love them down there. They're like family to us. And another one is Misu 360 Project Gallery. They're by St. Pete Brew. They're on the corner of 6th Street and 1st Ave North. So what we're doing with those 2 different stores is providing people with a 7 days a week permanent location where they can come and shop. And then that way they don't have to wait for the pop-ups. And what we're trying to do with each location is have different things. So at Furnish Me Vintage, we're trying to have less brand-focused items, things more focused on loud colors, loud patterns, just crazy things like you would see on That 70s Show, true vintage. And then at Misu, because they sell sneakers, it's more of like a streetwear-oriented type place. That's where I'm going to have like some of these like track jackets, more brand-focused things. So depending on what type of shopping experience you're looking for, you'll be able to go to those different locations. And then we're in the middle of kind of redoing it now. From this used to hold everything to where this is now going to be a private gallery where we're going to keep the best of the best. And we're going to have like a spending minimum to be able to even come back here and see what we have. So you're pretty lucky.
And for those who really want to be pampered, if you pay an additional amount, you can get a personal meal made by Berto.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're working on doing like a couple different things, advancing and then adding more and more experiences for people to come by and check out.
And for those of you that don't know, Furnish Me Vintage is a great place. It's down on Central Avenue, down in St. Petersburg. They have 4 floors of vintage material. On the bottom floor, I'd say it's sort of like Danish mid-century.
Right.
The second floor, they have that cool, the guy with the vinyl.
Yeah, the second floor is redone now to where there's like a couple furniture pieces, but it's a clothing boutique now. now, vintage sound, records. So yeah, the second floor is just, they've kind of just added a couple other things that just go with their vintage theme that just expand their inventory.
Yeah.
And then third and fourth floor are more great furniture, honestly. So.
And y'all are going to be located. Which floor are y'all?
We're on the second floor.
Yeah.
We're currently on the second floor there.
The party floor.
Right. And the Misu 360 Project Gallery will be in there October-ish, November 1st by the latest.
So Furnish Me Vintage is located at 1246 Central Avenue in St. Petersburg. Misu 360 is located at 578 First Avenue North, also in St. Petersburg. Next time y'all are in St. Petersburg looking to check out some cool stuff, come check them out there. I always like to end on this question. What's the one thing that I didn't ask y'all that you wish that I had asked?
Oh, yeah. What is the one thing?
We all have a couple ideas actually of what we kind of where it all should end. Like I have a menu that I've been working on for couple years now. It's a concept called middle schools. So it's gonna be like a higher end version of all your favorite middle school lunches.
So we talking what, like Jello with grapes in it?
But like I'm gonna make the Jello and do some molecular stuff to the grapes.
Cool.
That's like my dream. Alessandro has a couple shops he wants to open.
I really love clothes and fashion, and it really is my passion. So like me and Nick, we talk about it all the time. As we grow, you know, we are gonna have to let go of these things like operational duties, like being the salesman in the shop. And unfortunately, that's not something that I like ever really want to let go of.
That's the hard part.
So we'll see what happens, but I just want to keep growing with the clothes. Again, I really love traveling, and growing up I always wanted to see the world, so I just want to travel, surround myself in clothes and fashion, and be happy with my friends and family.
Awesome. And Nick, where do you see it?
You know, I see myself just being able to do what I want to do, you know, to put your all into something. That's something that I haven't really been able to do with a lot, but this is something that I'm literally putting in my all.
It's always amazing when you take something from nothing and then just you create a whole cloth out of nothing.
Right.
And then you're just like, hey, this is our thing. Like this is what we've made. It's awesome.
I mean, I've always been real confident in anything I do, but when we first started, people were like, what are you guys doing? Oh, you know, we got these like little pop-ups going. Some people didn't get it, but now like I love when people ask what I do.
It's more defined.
Right.
It takes a while to get your message down.
Yeah.
So awesome. And last question, how much for the Buccaneers helmet over there?
McKinney? We'll do 30 for you.
Sweet. All right, you heard it. They gave me a deal. So, all right. Well, thank you to the AOK family, and that was Berto and Nick and Alessandro. And you can check them out at Furnish Me Vintage or Miso 360.
Yeah, Misu 360.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
So I'd like to thank Nick, Berto, and Alessandro for that interview. As you can hear, we had quite a bit of fun. They were really fired up about the clothing and the kitchen. Lots of excitement and passion there. If you're interested in seeing their wares, you can find them at Furnish Me Vintage, which is at 1246 Central Avenue in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you want to find them on social media, you can go to Facebook or Instagram and do a search for World Thrift, or you can do a search for Pop-Up Shop and Kitchen, and they'll pop up there as well. So thanks, guys. Segment 2, just the facts. Did you know that the average person spends 6 months of their life waiting for red lights to turn green? If you're anything like me, it's a pretty sobering thought. So if you're listening to this in your car and you happen to be sitting at a red light, just know that you're counting up the 6 months of your life waiting for red lights to turn green. Outro. So I want to thank you for sharing Great Things Tampa Bay with your friends and family. You can share us by going to our website, greatthingstb.com. There you'll find share buttons on nearly every page. You can share us on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. If you're looking for your own great place in Tampa Bay, I'm also a licensed realtor specializing in deep knowledge of Hillsborough and Pinellas County. So if you want to talk real estate, you can give me a call at 727-300-2111, or you can send me an email at Kyle@sassergroup.com. That's KYLESASSERGROUP.com. And I'd be more than happy to help you find your next home here in Tampa Bay. I also need your feedback. I need you to tell me where we should be going and what we should be eating and who we should be talking to. So please go to our website, greatthingstb.com. You can hit either the contact us link at the top or the get social links also at the top. If you want to be a cool guy or cool girl, you can you can call our voicemail number, which is 727-440-4455, and leave us a message. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. And oh, by the way, if you don't want to miss the next episode, please subscribe to us on iTunes or Google Play. That'll guarantee that you get the next episode delivered straight to your mobile device of choice. So thank you so much. I'll talk to you next time.